NASA and many other lying magicians tell us our sun is 93 million miles from the Earth and 109 times larger than the Earth. However, amateur balloon footage taken from the clouds prove that the sun is not 93 million miles away or bigger than the Earth. What the footage shows is a locally illuminating sun casting a localized hotspot over the Earth. If it were millions of miles away, this local hotspot would not be possible. Furthermore, if the sun was not a local luminary, then we would not experience crepuscular sun rays. The angle of the sun rays that we see when light breaks through the clouds would not be possible, and we have thousands upon thousands of photographic and empirical evidence of the sunlight behaving this way. If the sun were 93 million miles away, then its light should form a straight beam and not be displayed in angled rays. If the sun is so far away, then why does it grow so much with just a small rise in altitude on Earth? At 93 million miles away, this rise in altitude should be negligible or non-existent. The change in size suggests a locally illuminating sun that is not an inconceivable 93 million miles away, but is actually relatively close to Earth, journeying just above the clouds. And it is not 109 times larger than the Earth, but actually a lot smaller than the Earth. Our first-hand experience of the sun and the moon is that they are nigh on equal in size and circular shapes that journey similar circular paths over our flat, stationary plane. The scientist magicians make up these complicated theories of perfect spherical bodies of rock and gigantic balls of hot plasma that come with incomprehensible distances and calculations that bamboozle us. Anyone can use their common sense to discern that the sun and moon are of similar size, and the moon is not a ball of rock.
And they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah.
Many have studied the sun and moon's light. The sun's light is warm and drying. It preserves matter and prevents decay. If you leave fruits out in the sun, it will preserve them, like with sun-dried tomatoes and raisins. It is antiseptic and healing. The moon's light, however, is cold, damp, causes putrefaction and decay, and is septic. The sun's rays decrease the combustions of a bonfire, while the moon's light increases it. People have studied the temperature of the moonlight and were surprised to find that at night the temperature of direct moonlight is colder than the temperature of the shade. This proves that these two luminaries are unique and opposites in nature. It also undercuts NASA's claims that the moon reflects the sunlight. If that were the case, then the moonlight should have a degree of residual warmth to it and not be colder than the shade at nighttime. Furthermore, the moon cannot simultaneously be a spherical body and a reflector of the sun's light. When light is shined upon a spherical body, it produces this. Reflectors have to be flat or concave to actually reflect. A spherical convex surface results in no reflection. Again, basic, repeatable, verifiable and real science works against a magician's space saga hoax. A lot of photographic and film footage also proves that the moon is semi-transparent. When the waxing or waning moon is visible during the day, it's sometimes possible to see the blue sky right through the moon. Sometimes at night it is even possible to see stars directly through the surface of the moon. The Royal Astronomical Society has documented many of these instances. Faith believers in the pseudoscience of the rotating ball often use the moon's surface as proof of the heliocentric model, in which the moon appears upside down in the southern hemisphere and the opposite in the north. But again, this proves the stationary Earth. Time-lapse photography shows that it is the moon that turns clockwise like a rotating disc over the Earth, and this is only possible if the Earth is stationary and it is the moon itself that is moving. You see, the sun and moon luminaries rotate around our flat disk Earth in a similar way to the hands of a clock, dictating time and seasons and the fluctuating balance of dark and light, preservation and decay. In fact, our flat Earth is the oldest clock of them all, and this is how solar and lunar eclipses are possible. The heliocentric model completely fails when studying lunar eclipses. For a lunar eclipse to take place in the globe model, the sun has to be reflecting the Earth's shadow onto the moon, and all three have to be aligned in a straight 180-degree syzygy. But since the beginning of time, lunar eclipses have been observed while both the sun and the moon are simultaneously visible in the sky. Furthermore, when looking into the mechanisms of a solar eclipse, the heliocentric lie once again falls apart. As this footage demonstrates, the sun and the moon have to be roughly a similar size for a solar eclipse halo to form.
Representing my sun source and a penny representing the moon. As you can see, the flashlight is a lot larger than the penny. Okay, now let's place the sun 93 million miles out into space like this. And let's get our penny a lot closer to the camera. Okay, where it's about the same size as the flashlight in perspective. Okay, now that doesn't look right. You can't see the corona. And it just doesn't eclipse. You can still see it light all around. It's not a total blackout. Okay, now I have a side light on the side of this flashlight that just so happens to be the exact same size and diameter as the penny, which is perfect for our next test because the sun and the moon are the same size on a flat Earth. And we'll bring the sun in closer to us as it would be on a flat Earth. Now let's try our eclipse with the moon right underneath the sun. And wow, there's the corona.
If the sun was 400 times bigger than the moon, then its light would devour the moon and we would not witness the halo.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.